The Dallas Cowboys will try to bounce back from that ugly loss to the Cardinals last weekend, and they'll try to do it against an old friend. Joining me to preview the Cowboys and New England Patriots game on Sunday is Locked On Cowboys podcast host Landon McCool. Good morning, Landon.
Good morning, Chris.
Okay, we're going to get to this weekend's game in a minute, but first let's take a quick look back at that collapse against the Cardinals. Do we just write that one off as a bad day, or were there some deeper issues there?
I think there's deeper issues that they definitely have to look at, especially when it comes to, the first half, they really had problems with their discipline in the run game, especially when defending QB runs. I felt like the defense overall, kind of evened out a little bit. And I think the offense, for the most part, played an okay game. They were able to move the ball at will, especially in the second half. But once they got inside of Arizona's 10-yard line, they were basically unable to do anything. I think Dak, for the game, was 0 for 7 throwing the football inside Arizona's 10-yard line. And I think trying to run the football was not an option for the Cowboys because they had lost, 3 of their starting offensive linemen. I think it made Mike McCarthy a little gun-shy in trying to run complicated runs that were going to have to move bodies off the line of scrimmage inside the 10-yard line. So if they can clean up some red zone stuff, which I really do think they can, and then just play with better discipline on defense, which we've seen them do, they're going to play better football.
So the Patriots come into town this weekend. They have Zeke Elliott with them. Speaking of those red zone issues, how badly are those red zone issues tied to not having Zeke Elliott there to pound it into the end zone?
I think it's certainly a factor. That's one of obviously Zeke's great strengths was running it in short yardage and picking up those short yards, whether it's on the goal line or otherwise. But I honestly think that a lot of this is, Arizona played a really great game plan on Sunday, and the Cowboys had a lot of opportunities, but kind of, felt a little bit gun shy and just were kind of not trusting their run game as much. I think once they get a little bit healthier on the offensive line, the play calling will be a little bit more confident, and I think that will get better results in the red zone.
So one of the subplots going into this week's game is about the Cowboys changing their signal calling because the Patriots not only have Zeke Elliott, but they also just added Will Grier recently, who was with the Cowboys as a backup quarterback during the preseason. Is that a legit concern, or is that just fodder?
I tend to think that that's fodder. These teams change their hand signals more often than we know. And I certainly think that they've changed hand signals since the preseason and since they've let a lot of players go out into the NFL to be claimed by teams, including, Will Grier, as you mentioned. But Zeke also knows the hand signals very well, probably as well as anybody, at least while he was here. So I have a feeling that if they hadn't changed them previously, they definitely have changed them by now. And again, I think even Brian Schottenheimer brought it up when he was asked by a reporter, there's ways to take advantage of that too. If you think our hand signal, maybe we do that hand signal and it means a whole other thing this time when you see it. So there's some gamesmanship there for sure, but I don't think this is something that Cowboys fans should legitimately worry about.
Okay, real quick, give us one huge key to this game that you think will decide it, and do you care to offer a score prediction?
Yeah, I think the real big key is to just try to play more disciplined football. Cowboys had something like 10 penalties for 170-plus yards in the first half against Arizona, and when combined with kind of defensive woes, it really sunk them, right? Mm-hmm. So I think if they could find a way to just play within themselves, they're probably the more talented team here. Belichick's going to try to do things like he always does, like take away your best player. So you got to find a way to finish, to get it to another player and distribute the ball a little bit. I'm picking the Cowboys to win by 7 points. I'm going to say 28-21. I think it'll be a tough game in the end, but the Cowboys will win it out. We will be watching on Sunday. Landon McCool with Locked On Cowboys. Thanks for joining us. And you can watch Landon's episodes of Locked On Cowboys every day. Subscribe wherever you get your podcast.